New Zealand's natural heritage. We are famous for it. But much of what we treasure is at risk and has already been lost. What if we could get it back to what it once was? Where life could thrive again in healthy forests. A haven from introduced predators our native species have no natural defences against. Taonga species, our birds, bats, geckos, native invertebrates, and rare forest plants could reclaim their rightful place in habitats that can sustain them long term. Around the country, iwi, council and community are working hard to bring our forests, coasts and mountains back to life. At Predator Free 2050 Limited, our mission is to protect what makes Aotearoa unique. Our aim is to breathe life back into our forests and iconic landscapes by removing the possums, rats, stoats and ferrets that threaten our vulnerable native wildlife. Along with partners like the Department of Conservation and the Predator Free New Zealand Trust, we started this work in 2016. Since then, we've come a long way.
Major highlights is mobilising communities and groups to do the work. We started with 5 landscape scale projects. A couple of them are very close to achieving their eradication goals, and some of them are still approaching the end point, but they're making great progress towards it. Predator Free 2050, its main focus is the removal of rats, possums and stoats from the New Zealand mainland without using fences, like we're sitting inside the beautiful Orokonui now with its phenomenal bird life. But the idea is to bring this into the rest of New Zealand so everyone experiences something like this on their doorstep and not have to go to a fence sanctuary or to a pest-free island to see it. From our existing projects and ones that are in the pipeline, we believe we can achieve this goal. It's still a hard mission, but we feel that we could get there with effort and some of the new technology coming online, and of course with the wonderful communities backing us to achieve it. A lot of our projects are on the leading edge of this work. We're trying something no one's ever done before in a mainland setting, and we want to have pests eradicated without fences and pest-free islands.
Across Aotearoa, we are supporting multiple large-scale eradication projects in a wide range of unique urban, rural and backcountry environments. Some of the earliest funded projects have already achieved significant goals. South Westland is now managing 43,000 hectares to be free of rats, possums and stoats. Mahia Peninsula has almost eradicated all possums in the area. Waiheke Island is very close to reaching the goal of becoming stoat-free. And Wellington has successfully removed muscelids and Norway rats from Marama Peninsula, Te Motu Kairangi. We work with a huge range of people to get these projects off the ground. Projects can be council-led, iwi-led or community-led. Each of these has had a different approach to the challenge of becoming predator-free. They have all had their own highlights and obstacles as they work towards this common goal. We are heading to Taranaki, Dunedin and Whakatane, to see what unique solutions each project has designed to tackle the challenge in their own region. Towards Predator-Free Taranaki is a council-led initiative and was the first predator-free project in the country to receive funding. Sam Holtain, Program Lead of Towards Predator-Free Taranaki, is proud of what has been achieved to date.
The project began in late 2018 and we've seen a lot of progress in that time. It's been absolutely stunning watching this decline of some of our real target species within this area. We're now getting fewer and fewer possums. There have been some amazing gains out here as well. We've got absolutely stunning flowering in some of those real key species that are actually really popular for possums, like rata. So we have a number of keriru out in this area, and keriru are really key because we can get really good ecosystem functioning from them, and seed dispersal. One of the challenges that we face out in our project now is that the typical methods that we would use for monitoring possums and telling us essentially where to put this effort don't work anymore. With those challenges, one of the novel techniques that we're exploring is the use of genetic tools within our project. So we're no longer sort of dealing with a population, we're actually dealing with running down the last few individuals. And being able to tell who's who based on the scat that we're finding or the possums that we're shooting out there is really, really effective for helping us figure out what's actually going on in the larger picture. The possum dogs are absolutely key within this project because they can tell us very effectively when there are no possums in an area in a way that cameras or wax tags or any of those other monitoring techniques actually can't.
Peggy's job is to find scat, and so she goes and finds the scat and then she's rewarded with the ball. So the numbers are so low that we need to use a scat dog to find the scat so then we can determine the home range. We'll take the GPS points and plot all the points that she finds scat. Possum numbers have gone down hugely. Yeah, there's days where we'll go all day and we won't find any scat. And then at nighttime we're hunting a much smaller area because Peggy has already determined that in the large area we don't have possums. This dog lets us work a large area in that way. All of our possum eradication efforts have been hugely successful with the progress that we're making. We've caught over 400 possums. That's through trapping and with the dogs.
Yes!
So it's a real key thing to have the community on board because they're the ones that are doing the real hard yards on the ground for us. Realistically, we can't be everywhere at once. And we need the community to be able to really own what is in their backyard and get stuck in. People have been so keen, almost like overwhelmingly keen, in wanting to get out into their local spaces and learn how to do this. We've had a goal to get 1 in 5 households to have a trap, and we've actually exceeded that. And that's what we need. We would like it to shift to a community-led project in the long run, because that has the best chance of longevity. I'm really hopeful about the future of this project. We can see that the end is in sight for possums within our core area, and that's really, really exciting because once they're gone, we can perhaps shift focus to some of the other things within the area, and we'll hopefully start to see some of those real strong ecosystem processes coming back into the space.
Further up the North Island in Whakatane, Korihaha Whakahau is the first iwi-led predator-free 2050 limited project. Its main aim is to eradicate possums from 4,700 hectares of land within the rohe of Ngati Awa, including Whakatane, Ohope and Ohiwa.
So the project was launched in 2020. And a key highlight for us so far is this is the first iwi-led project for Predator Free 2050. So it's been great to be able to sort of blaze a torch to go forward on how others might be able to hop on our waka as well. We are using the zip technology. These nodes helps us to identify which traps have been set off. and they create an alert on our phone. So instead of walking trap lines every day, the kaimahi can go and tend to the traps specifically that have been alerted, which really is useful and efficient in distributing our workload. We've created an environment where the kiwi can be released alongside the Kiwi Trust. So lots of stoat work, rats and possums as well, has enabled kiwi to be released back into our rohe. It's a really cool opportunity for our hapu to come along and be part of the release and to see the fruits of the labour.
This population of 300 North Island brown kiwi is thriving from long-term control efforts by the Whakatane Kiwi Trust for rats and stoats, as well as Korihaha Whakahau for possums. Other taonga species are starting to benefit from control too, such as bittern Mātuku Hurepo, Kōkako and Kārearea. Other achievements include setting up detection systems on Ngāti Awa Farm and Ohakana Island.
The biggest accomplishment is that the project has been founded on our core values as Ngāti Awa. So not only is this a conservation project, I think what's also really important to highlight is the people aspect. We've created 18 new positions and the benefits that sit outside just the environmental space as well.
The biggest highlight for me personally is just how much I've grown since starting this project and how much Korihaha Whakahau has impacted my life in a positive way. I feel privileged to work out in the Ngāhere every day and I love coming to work. The biggest thing with working for the iwi is that they genuinely care about the work. It's really powerful mahi because we're restoring the whenua to its true state and also protecting it for future generations. And just looking after Aotearoa's native wildlife.
What I think long term is that the iwi, the people, we are the tangata whenua, we're not going anywhere, and so how can we continue that connection in the work that we're doing here, and that's something that we're considering and looking for options to go forward into the future.
Further south, Predator-Free Dunedin has been working across 30,000 hectares of urban and rural land since it started in 2018.
So Predator-Free Dunedin is a conservation collective of more than 20 organisations. Together our community is working to protect Dunedin's native wildlife and communities by eradicating rats, possums and mustelids from our wider Dunedin area by 2050. So our 3 delivery partners are leading on the ground efforts to control predators here in Dunedin. The Halo project just established a mustelid network spanning 12,500 hectares, and the goal is to try and get numbers down by 90%. The Otago Peninsula Biodiversity Group are working to eradicate possums from the Otago Peninsula, and they're making amazing progress. There's been major knockdown operations on the Outer Peninsula, and we're moving closer to the city. The possum aversion fence is now complete. So instead of going over the fence, possums will move along the fence and then be funneled into areas where we have higher trap densities and residents who are hosting backyard traps. City Sanctuary is leading efforts in our urban area, so they're doing predator control in backyards and reserves across Dunedin's inner city area. This is going to create an amazing network of habitat for our birds and other species to move through. We've got lots of people getting behind the vision. So people in the city are setting possum traps and rat traps in their backyards. They're monitoring for predators and they're also looking at outcomes like more birds and more biodiversity. Communities can really see the benefits of this vision for a predator-free Dunedin and New Zealand as a whole. Biodiversity outcomes are what really motivates people here in Dunedin. We are the wildlife capital of New Zealand, and it's amazing to see more birds in people's backyards and robin coming out from beyond the fence at Orokonui. We've got riflemen breeding in some of our urban reserves, and kaka are starting to disperse from the sanctuary. So it's a really exciting project, and we just love sharing some of these awesome outcomes with the community. The key to success for Predator-Free Dunedin is working with our community and involving everyone in this journey. It's going to take all of us to achieve the vision for a predator-free Dunedin.
So since inception in 2016, we've invested almost $20 million in a range of tools, technology and sciences. We're trying to give better tools on the ground right now for people to do better with the jobs. We're also trying to set up what are going to be the tools that will come to market in the next 4 to 5 years and maybe the next 10 years as well. Some of our early products that are out from NZ Auto Traps, there's the AT220 self-resetting trap, and this is a DOC 200 trap, which is an established trap just linked with a mechanical self-resetting mechanism and a lure. The idea being is that these units can be left out for longer periods of time and remain operational rather than having to be checked and reset after every single catch. Other tools coming online right now is the Pouuku lure. This is a solid state lure block that, again, linked to traps like the AT220, can give off scent for up to 6 months, and again helps to reduce the servicing time and requirements. And so by less manpower we can start covering larger areas. To make sure that we still have the new tools and technologies coming online in 5 to 10 years' time, we're doing some more underpinning research right now for sequencing the full genomes of our target predators, possums, rats and stoats. And the idea being is that this information will feed into a whole range of different research avenues. For example, designing better toxins that only impact our targets and have no non-target impacts. For the mid-horizon research, we're funding the Science for Technological Innovation National Science Challenge on a program of autonomous robotics for surveillance. Now, as we clear larger and larger areas of predators, the challenge will be keeping them predator-free. And that's where having cheap robotic autonomous sensors over large areas that can remotely report what they find will be a huge win.
Becoming predator-free by 2050 is one of the most ambitious projects Aotearoa has attempted, and we're excited by the challenge. We all know what we have here is special and worth our protection. To succeed, we need everyone to get involved. Find out how you can support the efforts towards a thriving, predator-free Aotearoa by 2050.